Hey, heads up. We talk about serious, sometimes uncomfortable shit on this podcast. But don't worry, hopefully you're going to laugh your ass off.
Coping chaos.
Thanks for joining us for Coping Chaos, a podcast about coping with the chaos of daily life while also navigating the uncertainties of mental illness. I'm Leah Williams.
And I'm KJ Servey. We're not medical professionals in any way, but we like to say we're not experts, but experts in our own mental health. And we want to have a conversation with anyone who has been affected by mental illness in any way.
All right. Well, here we are, episode 15. We're excited.
Wow.
We had a few computer issues.
Oh, my God.
I feel like this happens every time, though, so I feel like it's a good thing when that happens now. It's a good vibe.
It's our chaos for chaos.
Yes,
Coping
exactly.
Oh, goodness.
Today's topic is all about dysregulation, from mistakes to disagreements and anywhere in between.
We have dysregulation. The definition we found: emotional dysregulation is an inability to manage emotional responses, leading to an intense, prolonged reaction, rage, or panic that do not match the situation.
Yes. And one of the things I wanted to say at the beginning was how I wanted to describe it like a meltdown is not necessarily a tantrum. You know, people think of them as the same thing, but a tantrum is more goal oriented, like you're wanting something out of what the action you're doing. And then I like to think of a meltdown as more like reacting to something that's already happened and it feels hopeless, or you know, you're angry about it, but it's not like you're thinking I if I do this, I'm going to get something out of it.
Right.
It's just
no,
like
a
reaction
automatic.
we can't control.
Yeah.
So, as always, we're going to start with a story. I don't know if you'd like to go first or.
Sure. I was really having a hard time, like, thinking of exact stories, but I did. There's just recent times. I'm almost at the end of my TMS treatment, and it's not doing anything, and everything I've tried hasn't worked.
Yeah.
Like, if you've listened, but I've done all kinds of medications. I've done the electroconvulsive therapy. I have the BNS implant, vagus nerve stimulator, and I have done ketamine. I've done all the therapies, DBT, all that. And so they're doing the TMS. We've been doing it for a couple months and just nothing's working. And so several times I've had meltdowns where I'm just crying and laying on the bed and screaming even, and I'm like...
Because the closer you get to the end, the more it seeps in, like, this isn't helping. This is not doing anything. I wasted my time again on something else.
And I'm like, it's just darts on a dartboard, like, it's really rough. And so, I don't know, I just lose it sometimes. And I'm like, is it worth living if I'm never gonna find anything that helps, and I'm like, and of course my family doesn't want that, and it's just hard and I can't control it. I'm crying, I'm screaming, I'm hitting things, hitting myself, things like that, and I'll go into later how it looks. But and it's so hard, because then a big thing is, like, of course Lucas wants to give me comfort, but like any, him talking, him touching, like anything
stimulates it more.
Yeah,
makes it worse.
I just can't, even though I want that comfort.
Yeah.
And that's the weird thing about, being dysregulated, or our meltdowns as we're calling it. It's so hard because we want it to be a certain way and it's just uncontrollable. And everything else overwhelms it even more. And so, this one... it's not just one story, one meltdown. This is, last week I did absolutely nothing, and, it's just been really rough. So, that's what I thought of, like, that's really affecting me now, when it comes to dysregulation and the meltdowns.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because you just feel hopeless even more so. And then they don't really have any other plan for afterwards.
Right. Well, and I have a follow-up, like, 6 weeks, 5 weeks after.
Yeah, so you have to even wait all that time with nothing. So, that's very frustrating. Ugh.
Yeah, it's hard, and I just don't know if anything's going to work. But then the other part of me is like, well, I got to check things off. If I didn't try this, then it would have been the thing that would have worked.
Yeah, like that'll be the one thing. Yeah.
That's where our anxiety comes in, too.
Yes,
it's
exactly.
Like, oh my God, if I don't try it, then it will be the one that was right, which is kind of a weird thing to think.
But no, I get it. That's exactly how I think, too. So...
All right. Well, what do you got?
I was thinking of the time when we first moved here, because when we first moved here, like I had said many times, Ryan came first, and we were there, and I had to sell everything and move everything. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
But I kept focusing on it's a better job. He's going to make more money. We're going to be, in a better place. Right, blah, 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 blah. So we get here, and it's not what I imagined, as it always is for a lot of things. But I was just angry. I was so angry and frustrated, and because I just thought I deserve this. We deserve this. We worked hard and did this, and I'm saying a lot of that sounds terrible, but I'm like, I worked hard and he was working hard. Then, they're taking out more in taxes, and the medical insurance is more, and all these other little things where there's more coming out than we had expected. So the paychecks aren't as much as we had expected. And this was with his job, but now his new job, it's a little bit better. I think, I hope, we'll see. But I was so overstimulated. I had there was just like 3 a.m, and I'm just having a meltdown in the room. And I'm like upset because I'm surrounded by things I don't want to be surrounded by. I'm not in the situation I thought we would be in. We're not financially as set as I thought we would be. And that's a big one for me is finances. Not having the money, just it really stresses me out because what if my kids need something? There's just always something. So I think for me, for that one, financially, I just had such a meltdown, and it was horrible. It was horrible. My poor husband.
No. Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, man. So. It's hard because, again, you just can't control your reactions.
No, exactly.
And, again, you're in a space that you're not familiar with, and you're, in that room, and you can't get away.
Well, and the worst part is, like, you can hear in the room.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Because they're small enough. So like if somebody's walking down the hall, they can hear my meltdown. And I think for that too it was triggering my anxiety with that as well. And so like at first I was trying to be quiet about it, but then I just, you get to that point where you don't give a shit anymore. Right, and it's like, I just am ready to disappear right now and just be gone. So, but I think what next we're going to talk about is like what our meltdowns actually look like. Because I feel like a lot of people don't really understand, if you haven't had a lot of meltdowns, or you've only experienced like midlife crisis type of thing or something like that.
Right.
But because I do feel like a lot of people can experience somewhat what a meltdown is like. Yeah. But
I think with all of these things, people have situational, like situational depression or, situational anxiety, even if they don't have like a chronic, diagnosable, like so. But again, I think it's really important to, say what it's like for this other side of us.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what do you look like? What do you
well, I think about? I was trying to think like going from start to finish. And I think like the first thing, I'm breathing quicker. I start breathing quicker. My heart starts racing. I start having my words are more manic. Like I just start talking too much, over talking, and talking really quickly because I can talk pretty quick normally. So like I'll just start like talking so fast that I'm stumbling over my words. And then my brain is also manically racing thoughts as well at the same time. I'll start pacing back and forth at first. I'm just pacing back and forth, and then I'll start like kind of pulling at my hair, like just pulling on it while I'm pacing. And then I'll get to the point where it's really bad and I just drop onto the ground and I'm holding my knees and I'm rocking back and forth, and then I'm whacking my head on my knees. And then that's just not enough to stop what I'm feeling, which is just, I feel overwhelmed. Like I just want it to stop. I want to stop feeling what I'm feeling, and I'm just so anxious, and and upset, and then I'll start sometimes punching myself in the forehead, or just the biggest thing is just a repetitive thing. So whatever it is I choose to do, I'm doing it over and over and over, usually while repeating, because I talk a lot. So I'll be like saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't handle this anymore. I'm so tired. I'm just too exhausted. This is too much for me to deal with right now. I don't want to have to deal with this. I don't want to have to do this. I don't want to have to feel this anymore. And I just repeat it over. You're making me cry
because I know that feeling.
That's how I feel. And I say that over and over. And it's like a mantra. Like I'm trying to change it by manifesting, but I know that it's not working. So it's hard. It's so hard. But it's hard for me to share that. But at the same time, I know other people are experiencing these same things that I am. So,
well, you say that, and I can just be like, ditto. No, but because I mean, so many things I wrote down are the same. But I'm like, I know I just get overwhelmed, and then for whatever reason, and I think we're kind of talking about that in a little bit, but, I can snap and just be like, blah, blah, and I'm not a snappy person. I'm not rude. I'm not, I'm very, open and listen. But yeah, like I just out of nowhere, I'll just be snapping. Because there's just too much happening in my head.
Yeah.
That any other, and, I said that in my story, it's just every little thing. And with me, it's like I have all that going in my head. Like a lot of times my vision gets really tunnel vision.
Oh yeah.
And
or even blurry probably.
Yeah. And then like, how like your hearing, like it'll like be muffled because it's just everything's going on, and it's just like I'm going inside to myself.
Yes,
I don't know.
Exactly. Inverting.
Yeah.
As best you can physically.
Yeah. And then, but I'm still on the outside doing stuff. I'm still crying, screaming, moving, like you were saying, just frantically moving around.
Yeah.
Flopping down. And I have all this that you said, and I'm like, I can't sit still. And the thing I say all the time is I can't, just all the time. I can't, I need to die, I can't do this over and over. And, and then I put the hitting, I'm not like I want to hurt myself. It's just like I can't do anything else. There's all this energy in my
and I need to
body.
Release it in some way. And that's the only way that actually feels like it's doing something in the moment. Or it's the only thing I can think of in the moment to do. Yeah.
And then I said, even there's a little bit where it can even be silent, hiding, kind of, just you can't even do anything, but it's still a freak out in your head,
Yes.
That's what my daughter used to call them, was freakouts, and her therapist did not like that. But, that's what it feels, they thought it was derogatory towards her, and to her it was just, that's what was coming out of her.
That's what it feels like. Yeah, that's the best descriptive word you can think of for how it feels, because it's like an out-of-body experience in a way sometimes. It's almost like I'm floating above and can see myself doing it and know in my mind, like in the way back of my mind, like, you need to stop. This is crazy. This is not normal. Like, or, your husband's here, your kids are right there.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can hear that, but it's like a little voice that's like, I don't give a shit anymore. Like, I just don't give a shit. I can't
again
do anything about it.
Back to that. I can't. It's just, there's nothing that can like snap you out
as much as I want to. And that's why I do the hitting and the other things. Cause like for me, I'm trying to self-soothe in the way that I can. And that doesn't sound soothing at all, but it is like, in a way, it's like self-soothing. Again, I don't know.
Just, even though you have outside actions, I feel like it's very internal.
Yes.
Just everything that's going on. So,
and then each little new thing, it's just like another punch in the face, almost. Like as if somebody's just right there punching you while you're already down on the ground hurting from being multiple times punched. So,
yeah. Well, then, we have what causes or triggers.
Oh, yeah.
And, the first thing I put was anything and nothing.
Yes, that's exactly what I said, because I was like, well, there's a few things, and then I'm like, but there's also times where it's like nothing. Yeah. It's like literally I've just been so sad for so long that I'm overstimulated from the sadness, and it's like I don't want to feel that anymore. But it's not anything particular that triggered it. It's just the fact that I always feel sad. And so like sometimes when you feel something you don't want to feel for a long enough time, you get overstimulated by it. And I'll have a meltdown just from being overstimulated from feeling depression too much.
Of course. Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about that. So I hate that. But there are other things, I think, like I said, financially, I feel like when I'm doing better financially, I'm not perfect, but I do feel like I feel more positive. I feel more in control of things. I feel happier. Also, socially is a big one for me.
Okay.
If I socially feel like I did something wrong, or if I'm uncomfortable about a social situation I just had, or if with me and you, if there's a text that I sent that I wish that I hadn't and I wish I could just take it back, I'll have a meltdown over that, because for me, it's just so important to me at that moment. And I always feel like I do it wrong with social stuff. And so it just makes me spiral and go I'm not good at this and I'm terrible with it. And why do I always fuck up things? I'm 40. I should fucking know what I'm doing.
Oh God.
But so.
Well, it's interesting, you talk about financial, because something that I've been freaking out about is, my job, and I talked about it, I think, in an earlier episode, but I'm just at this point where I'm like, okay, we're struggling. I love my job, but it, per hour, it's the most I've ever made, technically.
Yeah.
A few cents over. But, but I'm only working 9 months out of the year. And even in that 9 months, you have winter break. You have holidays. You have random stuff.
And spring break, too.
Yeah. And so I don't get paid for any of that. And so it's like, I really need a year-round job. And that stresses me out. I talked about it before, but I have melted. I'm like, I have to figure this out.
Yeah, you feel that constant need to solve it.
Yeah. So I've been definitely having meltdowns about that as well.
That would cause constant anxiety for me, too.
And so I put also the whole sensory thing, like volume, lights, dots.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. You're so right.
Like I was saying, I want Lucas to comfort me, and I usually physical touch is, something that makes me feel good, but it's so wild. There'll be times and I'm just like, I can't, and so I've started, because I'm like, I don't know when it's going to feel okay and when it's not. So I just told Lucas, if I just, say it really short, then just don't do it. But you try. I'm like, if you feel like doing that, please do, because that means a lot to me. My abandonment.
Especially later when you're thinking about it later.
Right.
You're like, oh, I'm so grateful that he at least tried.
Yeah.
And then when you say no and he listens, that'll make you feel good too, because he's at least listening as well.
Right. And so we've done that when I'm not dysregulated, we've talked about it, because I do. And it pisses me off when I'm like, don't touch me. And I'm like, oh, but I really do want you to touch me. Right. There's just too much. And so I'm like, yeah, I have no idea when that's going to happen. So as long as you listen and aren't offended if it's short, and snappy or loud, it has nothing to do with you. It's just I can't, I guess everything's going to come back to I can't.
Yeah, right. But that's exactly what the feeling is. It's you can't. Well, I guess next is the management, recognizing warning signs, coping tools, strategies to use, therapies, things like that. I think one thing for me, I do get angry. I guess I didn't say that part, but I do feel anger a lot when I'm having my meltdowns. Okay. It's a frustration type of anger. Right. It's not directed at any type of person, but I feel it's almost like everybody gets road rage. And that feeling you get of road rage, but intensified by 10 and for 3-4 hours, and you can't. It's almost, but it's a road rage where there's no solution. There's nothing you can do to stop it. And you just keep raging and you want it to stop, but you just can't.
Right.
But one thing I do is I smoke. Like I said, that's one of my personal coping mechanisms that I do. And it is effective for me. In fact, that's one thing my husband will be like, did you smoke recently? Because maybe you should try that. And, he tries to say it nicely, because I'll be like, no, I'll get angry because I'm angry.
I do that. I'm
like, I don't want to right now. I don't think that's going to help me right now. I don't even think I can do it right this second. Or, I'll say something.
Yes, I thought about it, but I did it.
Yeah. Or
why are you telling me what to do?
Yeah. So, but that does help me though in the end. Or I'll try to start watching a show or reading something or playing music so that I'll start singing to be distracted from whatever it is. But a lot of those don't work,
I know.
unfortunately. Like, I try them and they work sometimes, but I would say I have a 20% success rate
Well,
when it comes to these things.
That's what I was going to say.
I have more meltdowns than
Yeah.
success, but I like to think when I don't have one, it's a huge success.
Right.
You know, when it does
yeah,
work,
yeah.
to me, that it feels so good. So,
Yeah. Well, like, that's what I said too. I'm like, it's hard to do anything or know what to do, especially when they just come out of nowhere.
yes.
You know, and you're like,
and there's not a reason behind
No,
it. Like,
and-
sometimes there is like
Yeah.
a bunch of little things that added up to the stress, but a lot of times, like I said, it's just the constant sadness.
right.
And it's like you can't stop it, and you can't, and you know there's no hope. And so it's like,
Right.
what do you do during that? It's
Yeah.
so hard.
No, I
to
know. And I'm like remembering what to do. But then when I do like things that help, we've talked about a lot, removing myself.
Yes. Oh, that's
have
a
to
big one for me.
get-
I have to do that.
You know, trying to balance, not like totally isolating, because I do that
Yep.
too.
Yep.
But
I'm an introvert. So,
but just get out of the situation or say stop. Even if I have to apologize later that I yelled or something,
yeah.
I can't control that. But I'm like, if I can just get, you know, like my daughter talking about a million things, most of the time I can do it. But I'm like, stop it. And of course, it's hard. She doesn't understand. And,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just like, stop. I can't do that.
It's overstimulating. It's too much. I'm at
Yeah.
that point. Well, and then I know you and I have talked about this too. We wait too long as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
So it's like as soon as we feel the annoyance, we kind of are like putting
We
it off and putting
Push
it off
through, you know.
until you literally can't anymore. It's almost like a pain in your leg, and you wait and wait and wait until it's finally like infected, and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, I just cannot wait anymore.
I like
So.
wear it like a badge of honor. I can do this.
Right,
I'm stubborn. I'm gonna
right.
fucking get through it.
But in the end, you're like, but is that better? Because then
No.
I'm exploding
I know.
and having a meltdown where I could have just walked away from the situation. But you know, we don't think that way
No.
in the moment because I'm already thinking about everything else that's stressing me out.
100%. Yeah, and I do like, we've talked about it before, and I rarely can think of it, but I like the cool air, and I learned about the ice packs through therapy and stuff. And if I can remember, or Lucas can remember, having an ice pack and just putting on my chest or
Oh
wherever.
yeah, because I forgot to mention hot flashes actually are a huge part of my meltdown
yes,
too.
I
I didn't write that, but
I think I'm
that
gonna
made
talk
me
about
think
that
of it because I was
in
like,
our
it
next
gives
one.
me hot flashes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I hate
And then
that.
what warning signs do you have? Did you come up with
Usually I like to think my warning signs is just my snappiness. Not really snappiness, but like my anger. I'll
Yeah.
start feeling angry over things that I never usually feel angry about. And so I'm like, oh, that's a hint. I'm starting to
Yeah.
feel it. Or I think a big one is like I start feeling like people are ignoring me and not hearing
Oh,
me.
Yeah.
Even though they are, but
Yeah.
it's like I just start feeling like nobody's hearing me, nobody's understanding me, nobody's listening. Yeah, that's kind
Yeah.
of how it starts.
My warning signs are like you had mentioned before, heavy breathing. Like I'm like, I can't. What
Get
you
a
know,
breath,
just
yeah,
like
or
anxiety. I know we're gonna
dizziness
talk
from
about
that too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about anxiety next week, and a lot of this is put together.
Oh
you
yeah.
know.
Oh yeah. Because it's usually my anxiety that's causing me to
Yeah,
have the meltdown.
Exactly. So that's why these two episodes are next to each other.
Exactly.
But then it's also kind of how I talked about the tunnel vision, the hearing. You know, it's like I'm just not able to, you know, grasp a thought, but there's all the thoughts.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They're
Yes.
like all there, all this stuff is talking to me, but then also I can't think to function.
Exactly. Well, when you have 5 million thoughts in your brain, which one do you pick
I
to
know.
focus on? You just can't. It's like a highway, and you're trying to look at one car as they race by. It's
It
impossible.
sounds so silly if you don't
if you can't
experience
understand
this.
it, yeah.
So,
But that's why we're doing this.
I know. Hopefully people get
Can
to
understand.
learn if they don't experience it. And if you experience it, you're not alone.
Yes,
You know?
exactly.
Well, we just talked about our upcoming
Yes, our
episode.
upcoming episode, anxiety is the
Anxiety.
next one, and that one's a big one. And I feel like it's really just gonna be like the tip of the iceberg when we
Yeah.
talk about it. I'm sure there's gonna be another
Oh.
episode down the line where
Yeah.
we can bring that up again.
Oh, yeah. We'll have, you know, I'm sure something in our life will spark like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, this about anxiety we need
we
to
didn't
touch
talk
again.
about. Yeah, yes, exactly.
That's how we're always like, oh, yeah, we need to do an episode.
Yes.
I have edited another episode for 5 years, and they just ended this week. And one thing that one of the hosts, as they were talking about stuff, she's like, oh my gosh, my brain is saying, oh, we should do an episode on that. Oh, as they were talking, and she's like, our whole lives have been
thinking about that. And
so
now
I
they're
thought that was really funny.
Man, that's crazy. What are they going to do?
I know. She's like, what? All I could think of was more episodes.
That's funny.
And then what do we have after anxiety?
Oh, we have our last episode of the season.
All right, season 1.
Routine. Which
we talk about that like all the time.
Yeah, but that is a big one.
It is.
For sure. So
yeah, no, that's gonna be a good one. And yeah, we're gonna end the season there, and it's the summer, and so we're gonna take a little break, but we will be like sprinkling stuff in.
Yes.
I'll post mini-sodes.
And we'll be
like
back, of course.
Yeah.
You can't keep us away.
No. So I can't say like during our summer break that we'll post every week or every other week, but I will be posting stuff. And then just go to our Patreon. I'm always posting stuff over there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there's lots of stuff to catch up on too.
Yeah.
So you got lots to
go back
to do this summer.
Or just write us, and we really want to get some ideas from what you guys want to hear and what you have experienced. And I know we're going to say that again later, but
oh yeah.
But in the meantime, it's that time. All right. Well, do you want to go? Or?
Yeah, I'll start. Let's see. I call it my shower curtain meltdown because this was a meltdown. There was a huge meltdown at the end of this.
Oh, no.
So I'm going to start by saying 5 months it took me to change my shower curtain. Sometimes it takes me more, but usually in between I will scrub it, a little bit so that it stays clean. But like changing shower curtains is hard for me. And in this place that we're staying, they provided us with a shower curtain, but it's like the plastic part is halfway down, like a hotel.
Yeah,
so they have the halfway, and it's like those buttons where you just unbutton it and you put a new one. So after about 5 months, and it was really dirty, and it's like pink, and it's got mold on the side, I'm ready to throw it away. So I undo it, and I take it down, and I go to the front desk to ask them for another one to put on it, because I was not sure if they would give me one or if I had to get one, but I didn't know how to get one that goes on that. So I went up to the front desk and I asked for it, and they were like, oh, well, you have to give us the dirty one, and then we'll clean it and give it back to you. And I'm like, at first, ew. And then second, like, I don't want them to see how disgusting my curtain is. Like, I don't want them to think I'm a nasty person, because I already think that. So I don't want them to think that,
We have all this guilt,
Yeah, I don't want them to all of a sudden the next day be like, I need to inspect your bathroom, like to make sure you don't got mold everywhere or something. I don't know. I just, all these thoughts. Right. And so I go back in the room, and Ryan's like, just give them the shower curtain. And I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I can't. And I just start having the meltdown. I'm just melting down. I'm getting upset. And I was really upset. I'm like, I don't even want to be at this place. I don't even want to live here. I go off because that's what I do. And I just went off.
And then you get to where it's not even about the problem.
No, it's not even about the shower curtain anymore. At that point, it was like, I didn't want to be there anymore. I just didn't want to deal with anything. And this is another thing I have to deal with that I don't want to have to deal with. And if I was living in this other place or something, I wouldn't have to deal with that. So in the end, I just threw away the entire curtain, and they might charge us for the main part of the curtain. And I bought a shower curtain and a liner. So we're good. Like I bought one, and they're probably wondering in the front, like maybe she washed it herself, because I never went back up and talked to them again about it. But I did. I had a complete meltdown over it.
Well, if they charge you for it, I mean, you've been there so long.
Yeah. I don't think they will. They're pretty great. And we turned in, because they provide you with towels and blankets. We turned all that in anyway. So maybe they'll think we turned that in by the time we leave. I don't know. But anyways, so it was horrible. And then my husband's just like, she's doing this over a freaking curtain, in his mind.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, you don't know the things that happened 5 days before that have been like on my brain, making it so that this is now happening with the shower curtain as my trigger or whatever. So anyway, on to you. Let's hear what your story.
All right. Well, mine is so I work at a hotel just like twice a month. And so there's always something on Saturdays, especially starting at this time of year, is when all the sports tournaments for kids and teens happen. And every hotel is full of them. And regular people come in and they're like, what's happening this week? I'm like, you mean all summer long? I'm like, that's just always kids. And so there's always chaos that's going on. So my chaos corner is kind of the last 2 times I worked there. It's just funny because there's always like a main thing and I just crack up.
Like every time there's just something happening. Yeah. You can't have a normal, just calm day.
So like 2 weeks ago when I worked, it was hilarious. I mean, this really was funny and it was good because it was light. It could have been a serious issue, but everything, and I'll explain, but everything around it was light, so it was good. But I was walking down the hallway next to the pool, which, you know, once in a while I walk around, and I think the reason I was walking down is because there's always kids doing shenanigans, so they like to hang out in the stairwells, but that echoes. So I went to see if they were still in the stairwell. But I was walking and it was quiet, and all of a sudden I heard like this doorknob rattling and rattling, and I was like, "Where?" And and I was like, "Where's that coming from?" And then I saw it was a bathroom right across from the pool. I'm like, "Hey, do you need help?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Are you a child or an adult?" And she's like, "I'm 12." And I'm like, and she wasn't freaking out. She was really cool. And I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna try," because the door handle would go down, but the latch that goes into the frame wouldn't move at all. And so I tried that, and then I'm like, I'll go get my keys, even though I know that's not going to help. And so I tried everything. I tried prying. I tried all this stuff, and I was like, "Do you want me to call your parents, while I'm doing this?" And she's like, "No, I didn't know she had her phone on her, or if she had a phone." But the funny is, she was texting her friends.
Oh my gosh.
Because they're a team, right? So all the teammates. Yeah. And so
that's what Saya would have done too, by the way.
I don't not call the parents.
Yes.
And so again, right now it's so funny to me because it was an okay experience. But I called my manager and I'm like, "What are my next steps?" She's like, "Well, if it absolutely won't open, you got to call 911. I'm like, "All right." Called 911.
Crazy.
And the fire department was there in 3 minutes.
Wow.
It was wild. And I guess you say a 12-year-old is stuck in it, but she was cool again. And then before the firefighters came, they started lining the hallway and everybody's chatting with her and laughing.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
They're like, "This is gonna be a funny story," and like she's just chill. Like was not a big deal to her. It was
that's
so funny.
good because there could have been somebody like that's claustrophobic or something like that, and that would have been just terrible.
Yeah, and that's why this is funny because
luckily it all worked out well with that.
And then eventually one of the moms of the girls in the hallway came and they're like, "What's going on?" And they were telling them, and she's like, "Did you call your dad?" And she's like, "No." And I'm like, "She wouldn't give me your dad's information."
Oh, no.
So she did that, and the firemen came, and they were I forgot this part. So they were trying to do the least damage, and so they're trying things and trying to pry it like I did, but they have better tools.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying not to be cliche, but it was nice to see three firefighters like doing stuff. I'm like standing behind them. I'm like, "Oh, I really wish I could take a picture." But
I'm like, I'm getting paid for this right now.
So not to objectify people, but makes it nice. But yeah, so they were trying a few things. And this drunk dad that I was dealing with.
Oh, no.
And that's what I'll get into next. But this drunk dad that I've been dealing with all night, he decides, he's like, "Oh, I'm in law enforcement. You just need an old credit card and we can wiggle your way in and da-da-da." And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're embarrassing yourself in front of these firefighters. They're doing their job, trying to get this kid on your guys' team out of this bathroom." And so they're like, "Fine, try." After they had done it a little bit.
Yeah.
And he was trying to look cool and doing it. And then they're like, "Okay, copper, get out of the way."
Oh
they said something like that.
Funny.
I think it was copper, but it was funny. They're like,
"That's awesome."
All right. And so, yeah, they started using different pry bars. And so then they were taking the whole doorknob, handle thing apart. But they were just like prying it. And they're like, "This is going to have a lot of noise. So, and stand back." And so they were just like hammering at it and and using different tools. And they finally got the whole doorknob off, but still that it wouldn't come out. The door still wouldn't open. And so then they had a big screwdriver and they're like shoving it in there and prying. And then they got it out. And so it was very interesting and eventful.
How did the door look after that?
Well, luckily they didn't have to hurt
Break
the
the
door,
door.
but I can put on Patreon a picture of what the door looked
Oh
like
yeah, you
afterward.
should. Yes.
Because it was really funny, and I know I keep saying funny, but it was.
Yeah.
And I had told my coworker, I'm like, can you bring a bag of snacks and water? So she brought that. I'm like,
Oh,
here,
that's awesome.
But yeah, so the other thing that happened just last night was so this family, like all these people come up and say the worst thing. There's feces in the pool.
No. Oh no.
And that
You
hasn't,
gag
I mean,
really
it
quick.
happens quite often.
Oh, I believe it,
but never when I've been there.
Oh.
And so I went in
Ooh.
and I looked, I'm like, that looks like it's just a rock. And then I looked and there's like a brown streak, like probably like 6 inches long next to it. I'm like, nope, that's shit.
Nope. Yummy.
And so I had to close that down. But like, we had 2 teams. We had a giant basketball team and giant volleyball team, I think.
Oh no.
And so
they all wanted to swim.
right. And, there's already shenanigans that they do. That's what I like to call it, chasing them around, people calling, there's kids in the hallway running,
Oh yeah.
And so them not being able to swim means there's going
Gonna be
they
even
have all
more
this
in the
energy,
hallway.
yeah.
Oh no.
And, okay, I don't care if you're a sports parent that does travel sports. I hate it. Most of them, they sit in the freaking lobby and just get wasted.
Aww.
They bring their coolers down. And so I'm not even mad at the kids. I still have to handle them, but their parents.
These adults should be
I know,
adulting.
but this is the culture of, especially, I mean, I don't want to call it out, but hockey's the worst.
Oh.
And I'm sorry if you need to hear that or you don't want to hear it, but it's the truth. But I still do my best customer service. But yeah, they'll bring down their coolers with all their beer. And it was funny. Last night, this dad walks in with 2 giant bottles of liquor. And this happens a lot, And everybody's like, yeah, all this.
Oh my
And then,
God.
and it's just like, they just keep getting drunker and drunker. And it's like.
And then they start acting like teenagers are worse.
Oh, yeah. No, they're worse. And I have to tell their kids what they can and can't do. And then they just sit there and look at me when I'm like, please don't jump on that. Please don't bounce a ball. Please don't. But
for me, I'd be embarrassed as
I
a
know,
parent.
me too.
Like, that doesn't make sense.
Everyone
to me.
I know that works with me, they're like, oh, my mom would never, or my kids would never. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, I would be like, let's get to the room. I'll have a drink, but I'm not going to get wasted.
Because I'm responsible. What if my kid gets hurt and I got to go to the hospital?
Yes.
And then I got to remember everything about their blood type and everything. And I'm sitting there like, I can't even remember my name right now.
I know. That's exactly how my brain works. But I do want to say, how the dad came in with the 2 giant bottles of liquor and everybody was cheering. A mom, a little bit later, came in with a giant box of potato chips. And that got a louder scream.
Oh my God.
From the drunk people, I'm sure.
Oh my God.
But it was just,
They're like, yeah, snacks.
Plain potato chips. She had this giant box of them.
Well, when you're drunk enough, those things look like gold.
I know.
So.
It was funny. Like, he got cheers, but then those potato chips
that's
got...
funny.
And
She
I was
spent way less, too,
Yeah.
for those cheers.
And
liquor's expensive now.
I was going up the elevator, and she happened to be in there a little bit later with her daughter, I think. And we were going up, and I'm like, ooh, busy day, huh? I bet you're tired. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, but I'm going to devour these chips. And I don't think she was drunk.
She's eating the chips, too. That's so funny to me. I don't know why.
So it's luckily those things were not the scariest, horrible things, because there are some scary things. Although when I left, the fire truck came and then ambulance came. I guess somebody had fallen out of the shower, an old man.
Oh, I was like one of the drunk people.
No, I think it was just
just a different person. Okay,
yeah, but yeah. So yeah, sometimes there's a lot of crazy, but there's always seems to be at least one crazy big thing. That happens.
Yeah.
So it's chaos because then I'm like, I have to write it up. I have to call my managers, which I hate doing.
Oh yeah.
And I have to usually a couple times, or at least text them, because again, I'm only there once in a while. So like sometimes there's things I just don't encounter or I've encountered it 6 months ago one time and I can't remember. So that was my my
gosh,
chaos the last couple weeks. But I love working at the hotel. The main thing is my really good discount.
Yes, that's exactly what I was telling Ryan. I was like, man, I think I need to get a job at the hotel just so I can have a discount. Cause I want to start traveling more. So
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't be able to go, like we're going to Chicago to see a band and we went to Omaha recently. And if I had, $130 to $200 a night, there's no way I could do that.
Well, and if you did, you wouldn't be able to do extra things like eat out or enjoy something
exactly.
else.
Yeah.
So, that's nice. Heck yeah. And they're nice.
I'm able to come down to you, so I go down to where she is to do our planning and make our outlines, and then she comes to me to do the recording. And
so, it works out really well.
Yeah, it's nice, I can just go and we can be away from the kids or bring the kids.
And if someone poops in the pool, you don't got to do anything about it. We just report it. That's it. Perfect. I love it. Well, as always, we want to hear from you guys. This was a good episode. I feel like there's still more we could even talk about this stuff. Yeah. But
always. You can find us everywhere, and you can contact us everywhere. We're on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and it's all at Coping Chaos Podcast. And our email is also copingchaospodcast@gmail.com.
Exactly. And we have Patreon. I know we mention this every episode, but you guys need to go on there. You need to chat with us, tell us feedback, look at all the fun little things we put on there that we will continue to put on there.
Yeah.
I say we and I mean KJ. The we, quote unquote.
Well, yeah, I just enjoy putting stuff on there. I did, write like a super serious, post about my mood, about my TMS and everything.
Exactly.
So, yeah, if you want to see the ups and downs, there's a whole treatment tracker there. So.
Yes, check it out.
Yeah, please. And, it does help us. Even, you do the $3, that helps us. So.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the other way you can help us is reviewing us wherever you stream. But really, the Spotify and Apple podcasts are the one that will help boost us the most.
Yeah, for visibility purposes.
Yeah.
So, heck yeah.
Woo-woo.
All right. Well, that was a good one, and I'm excited for the next one, too.
Yeah.
Because they'll go so well together. So
can you believe 15 already?
I can't, actually.
Not to, give you a timeline, but number 10 just dropped today, so...
Oh, see?
So 10. That's...
Wow.
It's pretty awesome.
Double digits.
Yeah, and, our first season is almost... to an end, but we have learned so much and we'll be able to come back. We have people ready to be guests.
Yeah,
and,
I'm excited for that.
Yeah. The biggest thing we want everyone to know is that you're not alone in this. We want this to be a safe space to share our experiences as a community.
Exactly. And remember, we love you guys. Thanks for listening to this episode of Coping Chaos. And as always, we will see you on the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Coping Chaos is hosted and produced by KJ Servey and Leah Williams. Audio mixed and edited by KJ Servey. Our theme song is by Lucas Servey and Leah Williams. Artwork is created by Lucas Servey. You can now follow Coping Chaos on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok at Coping Chaos Podcast. We have also started a Patreon at Coping Chaos Podcast, where you can help support us and have access to exclusive content. Please feel free to rate and review wherever you stream. Send us your questions, stories, and Chaos Corner moments to copingchaospodcast@gmail.com.